Rightio legends, Chaos Chronicles, and we're back again with another video. And so today we're doing our last sneak peek before tomorrow's drop of our interview with Viking Mindset. So this is a lot longer of a sneak peek than the last one, but this will be the last one we are doing until the interview drops tomorrow night at 7 p.m. So get in there and have a look. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. And yeah, I'm absolutely stoked with everything about this interview, the way it turned out, everything. I'm just absolutely stoked. So yeah, get in there and have a look. Let me know what you think in the comment
Yeah.
section.
So at Holmes, going through it, I had this whole different mindset, and it was just what it was. You know what I mean? Like I didn't accept anything, and I really became a man. Like reading, studying, learning everything I could get. I
Yeah.
always just read, but the books I'm reading are all The Art of War. Just
Yeah, Sun
every
Tzu. I think
every.
I read that book and I love that book. But The Art of War is a very very um, intrinsic read. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, and if you
yeah, oh,
know,
yeah.
it's just very
No, you
very
said it perfect. I
yeah.
used to meditate on that. I read that Machiavelli, The Prince.
Yep.
Like a lot of cunning mindset. Some of the Robert Greene books, just anything I could find. Even like Hannibal from Carthage. There was like him and just every. Like, I just drain and I try to learn everything about psychology, the
Yep.
human condition, crime and punishment, just on and on and on. And because I was schooled now, and the way they looked at it is like they're they see something that they can mold into like the savage that they want to have around them. And Florida, they have all the organizations just like anywhere else, the gangs, just everything, but it's a lot to do with like where you're from. And but they have, it's more like,
They have
how to say it,
cars. They call them cars, don't they?
that's more of like a West Coast thing.
Okay.
In
Yep.
Yeah, they go more like in Florida. You'll have white dudes that are Latin kings and blood. You'll see like some like, but it's because of how of a melting pot it is. But the dudes that are people get the misconception that when you join something like that, it's not for protection, man. You're committing your life to this now. The people that get extorted or pay for protection to the gang, that's one thing. But if you join an organization that is like a syndicate that's known throughout the
Yep.
work, whatever,
You're
you
all
know,
in.
you're all in. These guys will take a year of their life to be part of it, stab somebody, have to whatever it is. They'll
Yep.
have family bringing in whatever it takes to, and then get out, catch a life sentence, come right back in, and now, and you just see that, and they're very, disciplined. And a lot of people, from the outside looking in, they would say, oh, it's like high school book. I'm like, some of these dudes are 30, 40 years old, geniuses that are running empires, dude, from, they're never going out of this little 8x10 cell, but maybe twice a week,
Yep.
and to have that type of power, and like to where they can go and whatever, like, oh, out there, in here, wherever, it was like, damn. But I never wanted to join an organization, man. I've always been more of a lone wolf, like, because the one thing I just could not ever do is, so much of it was about dope and power. At the end of the day,
Yep.
one dude might make a mistake or gamble, and I'm like, man, I don't know. I was too focused and disciplined. All I wanted to do was just read, work out, and I compartmentalized everything I was going, like, it was like, okay, this is a test right here. Like, just like the Art of War, like everything was, I was using these things, whether it was psychology on somebody, or I was like having a fight, and I would train it like I was like trying to turn myself into like a maniac. I want to go to the French Foreign Legion when I had this whole mindset. I was right in Australia trying to go to they have some type of like where they take people from other countries to their defense force. I don't know. I was looking for everything and anything I could do
Yeah,
to
they
just,
do. It's called a the so they go on
you know what I'm
weekends
saying?
and stuff like that. Yeah,
So that I was like,
the reserves. They're called
yeah,
the
yeah, something
reserves.
like that. Yeah, yeah. I was
Yeah,
trying to do everything and anything. I was like, that's what I'm gonna do. I said I'm gonna get out. So, and then I was like, I'm gonna be a fighter first, but things would change. But so one of the first main things that happened is I um really I've always, from things I grew up around, not so much what happened to me, but what I've seen happen is anybody that hurts children, women like that, those bad PDF files, just bad charges. I heard you call them sour grapes, right? Like that.
Yep. Yep.
That's what you said. Like that one. Oh God, whatever that dude's name is. But so yeah, I would. They have a game called Razor Tag, and it's like if you see one of these dudes, it's like an immediate. You know what? It's crazy. I learned this
On
in
the spot.
reading. Yeah, you have to.
Yep.
Yeah, if you do anything, there's no like. If you see one of them, there's no like, oh, oral. What the guy say? You know, blah, 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 with his little story, like, oh yeah. But I remember reading in it was probably one of Robert Greene. I forget what it was, but basically, what it said was like, there's certain things you can do in life that, you know, some people act in emotions, and they, you know, but other things it's like I would say I could slice this dude with a razor blade, and he not. I probably won't get a life sentence, but everybody will know one. These PDF files cannot live near me, and
Yep.
I'll get, you know, that's how, you know, because I'm not gonna do these gang politics, but I will thrive in that battleground, and anybody that disrespects me or anything like that, and so and then also without having to take him too far and get a life sentence, I'll everybody will see that forever. That's almost, you know, and it was like, and it's a game people play in prison called Razor Tag, and you'll see
Yep.
these PDF files walking around like road maps all over their face, and I wanted to get one immediately. I just like I was ready, I was committed to throw my life away immediately, and
Yep.
I got one really bad charge, and I went to confinement, and in confinement, you know, is when I saw you see a whole different world in there. I mean, the COs, they're killing inmates, they're gassing you, they're starving you. You know, you're in what's called disciplinary confinement. And in Florida, they don't separate you by gangs or races, or there's really no protective custody. What they do is they put, oh, you guys are all in the gang, put them all in one unit together. Like that's what they do. It's insane.
Yeah,
Or
that makes sense.
yeah,
That's
and
yeah. Put them all in the
chaos.
same spot. Yeah.
Yeah, and then when it pops off, that'll be your roommate in there. And I went through it with one of the organizations. They were trying to extort people that weren't like with certain, and they ended up stabbing me in my face with like a pencil, like a something like that. And with that one right here, it's not a dimple there. Uh, they got me there, and you know, it was
Lucky.
over. Yeah, and I remember he hit me. One guy, they hit me on the side in the face, but luckily it was superficial. You know, I was so like I could not believe, and I was like, it's crazy as it sounds. Like, all right, now I've hit somebody, I've been hit. Like now I'm, you know, I'm getting deeper. It was
Yeah.
like,
Yep.
yeah, and it was like, and I would go and I'd study the book and read and be like, all right, how psychological? Like I would just be so compartmentalized to turn myself into like this monster, basically. But I was using all that bad energy will come back and destroy you in the end. But
Yeah.
you know, I would learn that later on. But they would end up putting one of those dudes in confinement as my cellmate, and they would let us. They would walk away for 15 minutes, gamble on us, and one of the biggest changing things I saw was there was a dude named Ricky Martin, like the singer, but it wasn't the singer. And Ricky Martin had some theft charges, but he was more confused than a billy goat on AstroTurf. I say that a lot. Yeah. And he was trying to get in. He was young, man, and he's 23, 20, he's like my age, a little bit younger maybe. What it was is also when you're in prison, you could be my age, my me doing more time than you. I'm like old, you know. I've like it's like he's young, his mentality, his respect level, his emotional discipline, just how he does his time. He's a young kid to me, even
Yep.
though we're the same age. And he would try to get in with all, and then once he realized, oh, I'm not built for this, or I'm not built for that, or you know, he would go and try to check in, protected custody. But in Florida, what they do is, unless you like get almost killed, they put you in protective management and just send you to another prison, and then you're back on the compound. They try it again, and it's like that's what makes it so morbid over there is that there's no, and it's good because there's a lot of people that should not be in protective custody.
Yeah.
You
That's
hurt
right.
somebody
Yeah.
like that, you don't get protected for that.
Yeah. I
The
agree.
kids didn't get protected, you know. But anyway, so he would tell on these officers. They were called the Chipley Five, from the warden down to the lieutenant. And man, they all got indicted by the feds, man, for organized crime in this prison, dude. It was insanity. You
What
guys looked
the
that up.
hell?
The Chipley 5, yeah. This was
Yeah,
during my
I'm
time.
gonna look. I'm actually gonna write that down right now.
Yeah. It's like C as in car and H, Chipley. Like
Oh,
chip.
yep. Chipley 5, got it. Yeah, that's
And
that's that's crazy, man.
oh, it was nuts. And these institutions, they call it the Bermuda Triangle. And they all worked at these different institutions in the panhandle of Florida, northern Florida, northwest Florida. And it's literally as north as you can go. Different time zone from where I grew up. That's how far north it is. And basically they were just whatever. I mean, it got to the point where the feds had to come and indict the warden all the way down. One of the officers ended up taking his own life because he didn't want to go do the time. I mean, it was wild. I mean, there
That's
were,
crazy.
yeah, there were hits on inmates. Like, it was just, and there was officers too that were like getting hurt by inmates because the main Culpepper was like warden Culpepper was like the head of this whole little syndicate, man. And like one of the officer sellers didn't want to do something that he asked, like to hurt an inmate, and he was like, but it's a whole. You look it up, guys. You guys watch it. So
Yeah,
basically, that was the
definitely look that
environment.
up.
Yeah, it was wicked, dude. And so um, he tells on everybody because they were doing this fight club. Like basically, they were having people gambling and Florida just whatever, dude. And it was like they were doing it in the kitchen, and it was like full on like MMA. They were gambling, and officers were gambling on this. And he told, and okay, but what they do is they put him in the cell with this dude, and he's one of the like, I mean, he's as high management as it gets for prison, dude. This is a dude that they build prisons for, and they put this kid in there, and they said they didn't do it on purpose, but this guy has 13 months to go. He's in there for a nonviolent crime. Yeah, and he told, and they put him in there with a known gang member, and the dude raw in confinement, and you hear him say, "Who wants to see me kill this dude?" And it goes on for 20 minutes, just stomping his head, violating him in the worst way, and dude, yeah, and they
Damn.
he and then the officers come like 30 minutes later. Oh no, and they don't even tell the family for 3 days, and that was another wake up to where I'll never be a victim. Like you'll never. So I just got, and then having them putting a dude that stabbed me in the face in the cell with me, like there's, I didn't think I was gonna go home. That's where I was at. There's no going home.
Yeah, I
But
mean, how could you ever think you're gonna go home when there's like organized corruption like that? You must
yeah,
have, like it would have been friggin' dodgy as.
100%, man. And like, and I'm not this like tough like term. Like, trust me, I took a lot more losses than I did wins. But one thing, I never looked at anything as a loss. I would never like, I would learn as much as possible. But in prison, there's not too many times you're in a boxing ring or
That's right.
it's violence. That's
It's
people are
violence
like,
and no rules.
yeah, like they're like, what's the best martial art? I'm like, wrestling and violence. You know what I mean? Like,
One
yeah,
hundred percent.
you're, you know,
Wrestling and a big bit of steel, mate.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
the
Grab
best
that
thing.
knife,
Yeah.
and so
Well,
like
there you go,
that.
guys. There's a 17-minute snippet of the Viking mindset interview, which is just such a tiny little bit of the interview. And yeah, you guys asked for much longer interviews, so this one is a much longer interview. And I think you are all going to be pleasantly surprised, to be honest. And yeah, so don't miss that one. That is dropping tomorrow night at 7 p.m. And I will see all you guys there. And yeah, if you haven't already subscribed, guys, and you're enjoying my content, jump down there, shoot me a subscription. That'd be absolutely appreciated. And if you smash that bell icon, you'll never miss any of my clips again. And yeah, don't do drugs and crime, and you won't end up in prison.